Yeah, I think we handled it really well. We lined up well for the most part to their kind of goofy formations, and I'm proud of the discipline that our guys showed, especially in the run game. Have to clear up some things through the air and in our pass defense, but overall pretty happy with our effort last Friday.
And you had some big runs. Not on that play there, but Bailey Pelster, as always, he ripped off a 30-plus yarder somewhere down in that second half. I mean, that's something you come to expect with your rushing offense.
Yeah, again, it's got to be very difficult for teams to match up to our personnel. You got some bruisers in the middle with Jake Boss and Marcus Dodson, but then you've got some speed guys like, Cole Harrington and Bailey Pelster on the outside. And so those guys are able to make plays in very critical situations. So I tip my hat to those guys, but I also have to give all the credit in the world to our coaching staff who puts those guys into good positions. Coach Jay Pellin, I think, called an excellent game offensively, which, and not taking anything away from those guys. They're a really, really good team, but we were able to do some nice things with our offensive game plan.
You see here, you gave up just a late touchdown right here, but final score 27-14, I believe. You were a little bit worried, too, about going up to Pierce in the away game and the atmosphere. How do you feel your guys handled that?
I think they handled it extremely well. Playing up at Pierce last week was a very fun environment. It's an intimidating environment, but it was their homecoming game. So there's a lot of people in the stands and a lot of a lot of attention on that game. That was, on paper, depending on what poll you were looking at, we were the number 2 team, and in one poll they were the number 3 team. So it was 2 versus 3, a homecoming atmosphere, and it was just a fun game to play in. And I think our kids noticed that right away getting up there, that this was going to be a special night. And so, they made a memory last Friday.
Now speaking about just the mentality of your team, you're 4-0. You knocked off 3 ranked teams with Boone Central, Newman Grove to open things up, with David City Aquinas in Class C2, and then just last week against Pierce. And now district play starts, and you begin with David City. But, your team's got to be feeling good. How is it at practice? What are you guys like sitting at 4-0 and knowing you've been battle-tested?
It feels really good. Our guys are starting to really get into a groove and start to understand one another, and they're really starting to put their faith and trust in this coaching staff. We as a coaching staff put them in awkward situations at times, and they're thriving in that. Where other teams with maybe younger players maybe wouldn't have that trust or that confidence. But a lot of our guys, especially our starters, have been playing at least a little bit of varsity football since they were sophomores. I'm talking about guys like Jake Boss, Marcus Dodson, Cole Harrington. A bunch of those guys, even our linemen, have been starting since they were sophomores. And so now that they're seniors, they really have this, this offense and defense down pat, and we can do a little bit of different things. And I think that's taken us a long way. And so our confidence is at an all-time high right now. But we also know that we have to show up and get to work against, a very, very good David City scout team.
Speaking of the district that begins, you have a very strong one, a lot of ranked teams in it. Just your thoughts as you enter district play. The Scouts, maybe not the strongest in the district, but you have the Wahoo Newman, also ranked teams, and Lakeview back up to 500 with 2-2 now after winning on Friday.
Yeah, we've got a great district, and I don't think we would want it any other way. I don't care what our record is. Our goal is always just to win our district, because if you win your district, you're in the playoffs. And so, there's a lot riding on it, and like you said, it's a tough district. I think every one of these opponents that we have coming up in the upcoming weeks are going to be a challenge in one way, shape, or form. I think David City does some things on the ground that make us a little bit on edge with our defense, but I think Wahoo Newman does great things defensively, and their option game is very, very good under Coach Turman. And so we've got some really talented teams that we've got to go up against the next couple weeks. So our goal is just to take it week by week, challenge by challenge, and get better each and every week.
All right, now looking forward to this weekend, Friday night against David City. You said they do some things on the ground, but just going a little bit more in depth, what do you expect to see from the Scouts, and how do you prepare for them? What do they bring, and who are their key players you got to look out for?
They're just really, they're a talented football team, and they do some things that will stress a defense like ours, which is a 3-man front. They like to run a lot of Maryland I and power formations, where they're just going to try to run it right at you and establish a ground game and see who's tougher. And so, if there's one thing about David City High, is that they've got the reputation of being a very tough team. They're not a team that's easy to move. They're not a team that's easily going to, acquiesce and back out of the way. So we're going to have to go right at them and stop them from coming right at us. So I'm really excited to see what they have, come Friday night. They've got some talented guys in their backfield, and their quarterback is efficient at running their offense. So I'm excited to see what happens Friday night.
All right, Coach. Well, we are as well. We'll be broadcasting it and wishing you the best of luck as always.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Brandon. Thanks for having us.
Glad to have him. That wraps up Coach's Corner here, Week 5 edition. Again, the Scotus Shamrocks taking on the David City Scouts. Our live broadcast will be on ColumbusNewsTeam.com starting at 6:45 p.m. Be sure to check it out. I'm Brandon Axman. That's Coach Tyler Linder. And that wraps up Coach's Corner. We'll catch you next week. Welcome to Pawnee Park's Memorial Stadium in Columbus, Nebraska for high school football action between David City and Columbus Scotus. Thank you so much for joining us here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. I'm Brandon Axman with the call, the handsome man next to me, Grant Otten as always, and the sideline reporter joining our team, Kate Urbanski. She'll be patrolling the sidelines. We'll be hearing from her shortly. As for the two teams, Grant, district play begins in Class C1. David City comes to town to take on Columbus Scotus. The Shamrocks, a team 4-0, playing some very good ranked teams, most recently coming off a win against number 3 Pierce. As for David City, they're currently sitting at 1-2 and have a tough task ahead of them.
Yeah, Scotus is obviously, it's no secret, they're very good. This is going to be a very tough game for David City, but we kind of talked about this before. If they can put a perfect game together, eliminate the mistakes, then they have a shot.
And talking about one of those key players for the Scouts, I am going with the number 5, Brandon Thuin. He is the running back. Keep an eye on him. In his senior year, he's really taking over the starting role, and he's the bell cow for this Scouts team. Talked to Coach Amp Ferg, though, and he said this player, he's a one-cut guy. He can move very fast. He's very agile. He also does kick returns, and he's going to have a big game tonight if the Scouts want to be successful. As for the Shamrocks, almost a mirror image of the type of player Thuin is. I'm going with Cole Harrington, the senior, and also captain as key player for the Shamrocks. This guy, Grant, he's basically just pure athlete, arguably the most athletic player on this Scotus team. He plays offense as wingback. He's the lockdown corner on defense. He does kick returns, and he also kicks the ball, and he is leading the Shamrocks in all-purpose yards with 294. The guy's just a gamer.
No, I love your key players. They're both very exciting players. Cole Harrington, the guy we've had the chance to watch every single time. That opening game against Boone Central had a fantastic game. He's kind of the main dude, and so if he has a good game tonight, it's going to be hard for the Scouts.
All right, now talking about the Shamrocks and head coach Tyler Linder, we now check in with him now, who's with Rachel Urbanski.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Lindor now. Must ask you, what have you done to prepare your guys for these games? For this game?
Just a lot of working on us. We've got to clean up some things. In our games past, we've had some penalty yards and just some silly, assignment things that we had to clean up. So we really focused on us this week and cleaned up, those little things. And I think if we take care of that stuff, we'll be just fine tonight.
Okay. You guys have had an awesome season. What would you say you're looking for in the other team? What do you think that they need to work on? Or
I think David City is going to come in here and try to impose their will on us. They're a very tough team. They have a reputation for being a very hard-nosed team, blue-collar community, and so they're going to bring it right at us. And so our guys have to show up and be tough tonight and stand toe-to-toe with a very, very talented team.
All right. Okay, and this is your second year, right?
Correct.
Okay, so tell me how you as a coach over the last 2 years has been kind of different from the coach 3 years ago.
Not a whole lot's changed. Coach K was the guy that held the head spot before I got here, and he's still on our staff. He's a wonderful guy that.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Memorial Stadium in Pawnee Park for tonight's varsity matchup. Featuring our guest
phenomenal program, and I attribute 99% of our success to that man right there.
And what tips have you taken from him?
A lot. Just he's taught me how to kind of stay even-keeled and calm in pressure situations, and so he's just kind of the guy that I look to when I need answers, and so he's kind of that calming voice and the guy that gives us that spark of enthusiasm that we need sometimes.
All right, thank you so much. All right, we'll be back after this.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We really focus on the people that we serve. Relationships are the most important thing to us, and because we're smaller, we're flexible enough and we can make those quick decisions to meet your needs.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus. At Columbus Motor Company, they feel shopping for a new vehicle should not be complicated. That's why during the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration, they offer everyone their very best price 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. At Columbus Motor Company, it's just one low price, plain and simple, always. So if you're ready for a new vehicle, stop by Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer at 2806 23rd Street in Columbus, or visit them at onelowpricene.com. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices.
Wake up in your first home. Wake up in a home you've made a bit bigger. Wake up in a home with a new address. Wake up in a home that doesn't even have an address. As your life evolves, your dream home evolves too, and protecting it takes committed support. At American Family Insurance, we support your dreams.
In Columbus, see American Family agent Roger Iwanski.
Welcome to Columbus Tire and Service in historic downtown Columbus. We as a team never promise more than we can deliver, and we always give the customer more than they expect. We're authorized dealers for Goodyear, Hankook, and Falcon, but we can get you any vehicle tire you want. We offer full automotive repair by 4 qualified, experienced technicians. We are a qualified farm tire dealer, and we offer 24-hour on-the-farm tire service. Request service, shop for tires, or request a quote at ColumbusTireandService.com, or give us a call to set an appointment, 402-564-6229.
Wake up in your first home. Wake up in a home you've made a bit bigger. Wake up in a home with a new address. Wake up in a home that doesn't even have an address. As your life evolves, your dream home evolves too, and protecting it takes committed support. At American Family Insurance, we support your dreams.
In Columbus, see American Family agent Roger Iwanski.
Central Community College, investing in you. Academic transfer, business, health, and technical courses all available at a fraction of the cost of a university. Small class sizes for an enhanced educational experience. Get started on improving your future. Contact Central Community College Columbus campus.
Our economic future depends on tomorrow's skilled workforce. Dream it, do it, and Central Community College Columbus is here to help young adults find careers in advanced manufacturing and related businesses. Visit dreamitdoit.com for more information or tour the Central Community College Columbus campus.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We're obviously a locally owned bank, but we're also a bank that's very involved.
The most important thing is when you walk in the front door, everybody knows your first name. We are small town banking with all the modern conveniences.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus.
Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices. Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices.
And welcome back to Pawnee Parks Memorial Stadium. Just about to get underway here. District football action, Grant, begins in Class C1 here tonight as the Shamrocks will be kicking off to the Scouts to start things off. There's head coach Tyler Linder, you see at the far side of your screen in the black polo. in his second year at the helm for the Shamrocks, and he has a great team in front of him with some serious aspirations. Went to Fremont and a Dakota State University graduate, and also got his master's at the University of Nebraska, Omaha.
Yeah, so it's good to see a fellow Bad Mav taking up roots in Columbus.
And with that, we are underway. Kickoff taken up to near the 30-yard line by the Scouts. Decent field position to start things off. That was Thuin, the running back, who also has kick returning duties with that return.
Yeah, this David City offense is going to have to come out with a lot of fire and a lot of energy. The Scotus defense, as we've already seen throughout the year, is very, very good. They've held teams like Boone Central and Pierce to low amount of points, so they're really going to have to come out here and perform at their best ability on all cylinders.
And the Scouts know a little bit about being tested, coming off a game against Class C1's #1 team in Norfolk Catholic, a game they lost 42-12, and not much easier as they now have to come to Columbus and take on the #2 Shamrocks, and there's that defense you talked about, Grant, not giving anything to the running game early.
And we've talked about this before, but we know Scotus loves to blitz. They're going to bring whatever they feel like they need to bring, and they're going to use their defense to impose their will, not the vice versa. That's something we've kind of talked about with all the schools here in Columbus. Scotus just right now is probably doing it the best. So these run blockers up front for David City and the Scouts are really going to need to pick up every single blitz.
Shamrocks like to run that 33 stack as another run up and about the same result by the David City Scouts. Gain of maybe 1 as we're going to now take a look at starting lineup for David City here to start things off on the offensive end. Senior Dustin Papa, Brandon Thuin starting for running back, Ryan Worm, and then Devin Betson, Logan Detmer, and Ross Kirby, the 2 tight ends set. As for the big boys up front, give them some love as well. And they are Daniel White, Matt Eilers, Jackson Harden, who's actually starting Jackson Harden, a late scratch. Riley Kirby, actually, we found out today, is going to be starting at center due to an injury. That'll be a key matchup to watch for a young center having to play for an injury. And there's right up the middle, Grant, maybe coming through that center gap. The big sack by Darren Wrinkle.
Darren Wrinkle, a guy we've seen quite often, but he just busts through the line there and does a fantastic job getting on top of the quarterback.
So, about as good a start as you could hope for if you're head coach Tyler Linder. 3 and out after a big loss of about 7 on that last play, bringing up 4th and 19. So a loss of 9 officially, but the Scouts going to have to punt with just less than 2 minutes of possession.
Yeah, we got the lone returner back there. It looks like they will run kind of a half coverage deal with Cole Harrington back, and they will let that one roll out of bounds at about the 44-yard lines where they're going to mark that one.
So the Shamrocks with some pretty decent field position to start things off. 9:59 to go in that first quarter.
And we know the Shamrocks love to run the football, and if the Scouts can't stop them, then this game might go kind of fast if Scotus is able to continually get first downs just running the ball. And it sounded kind of like Coach Linder, Tyler Linder, definitely wanted to test the waters as much as he could with that running game.
Shamrocks, as you might imagine, probably going to run things here. Lone back in side to give it to Bailey Pelster on the jet sweep, and Pelster still going, running through arm tackles, and just like that, Bailey Pelster has one defender to beat. Pelster taken down at the 15-yard line, gain of 30, and play 1, Grant.
And that's their kind of bread and butter when they hand off the ball to Bailey Pelster, kind of across the formation type motion, and then just hand it to him and let him do work. They kind of send a blocker out there on the edge to kind of free him up. But like you see, Bailey Pelster, a very fast, very quick back, hard to bring down.
Pelster, the leader for the Shamrocks coming into this one, averaging over 6 yards per carry, and you see why there.
Because like I said, you're going to see Pelster come across the formation, and then just the big kick-out block by number 71, Carson Fuscher. And Pelster just makes a move, gets downfield, and all the way to the 14-yard line. And like you said, great way to start on defense, even better way to start out on offense.
Gain of 40 officially, as the Shamrocks have twins out to the left, and there is Cole Harrington on the bubble screen. Nobody on him, and just like that, 2 plays, the Shamrocks are on the board. Cole Harrington from 15 yards out.
Cole Harrington, your key player of the game, and for a reason. Cole Harrington, a great athlete. You see a little bubble out to the left. Not much magic there, just kind of a standard play, and Cole Harrington able to get in there for 6.
So, doing the math in my head, 30 seconds gone of possession for the Shamrocks, and they are already on the board. And Cole Harrington, who just found the end zone, is going to tack on the extra point, and he does split the uprights. So 7-0 Grant, 2 plays for the Shamrocks, and there they found pay dirt.
David City going to need to come out with a lot of fire and kind of answer that 2-play drive there. We'll check that again here on replay brought to you by Bill's Tire. Cole Harrington just makes the move out to the side, able to shed a quick tackle, get in for 6 points. Now the defense is getting ready to head back onto the field. The other guys playing tonight, Lakeview taking on ranked Wahoo, ranked number 6, I believe, and then Columbus High taking on Burke at their stadium tonight. So best of luck to those guys.
Absolutely, we'll be following those games and be trying to provide live updates as they become available throughout the remainder of this broadcast. So your coach Amp Ferg, what do you do, Grant? You went 3 and out in your first offensive possession and then give up 2 big plays and a score.
Obviously, you got to get your guys fired up, make sure they stay, the winds aren't taken out of their sails. It can be very easy as a team on the scout side end of things right now. You go 3 and out, they score in 2 plays, you say, hey, we don't have much going on, but it's very early in the game. I mean, we're only coming into the David City Scouts' second drive here, so they need to come out with a little fire, get the players amped up, and put a little something together.
Ball again goes to Thuin. He takes it at the 5. Showing he has some speed, though, gets across the 20, about the 22-yard line. And talking about Coach Amp Ferg, Grant, in his 4th year with the Scouts, they went 2-6 last year, but 5 of those losses came at the hands of ranked teams, so he's really trying to turn this team around, this program, and get them back on the right track. And he likes to run that Maryland Eye offense, as you see right here. And there is that run right up the middle. Gain of about 4, though, so the best positive yardage for the Scouts thus far.
Yeah, like you said, David City definitely does not have an easy go with things. They're 1-2 right now, looking to pick up that 4th victory here in their 4th game, and definitely not against an easy opponent in Scotus, who has shown they might be the best team in Class C.
Something the Scouts really like to do in that Maryland Eye is they try to possess the ball and eat up clock. He said the big philosophy of Coach Ferg is to run the ball, impose your will, and you want to keep the ball, or maintain the ball, longer than your other team has it, and especially against a team like Scotus, that is their game plan. They say we just have to hold on to the ball and keep their offense off the field. No easy task against this defense, though.
No, and Dustin Papa there, it looked like he kind of fumbled the ball there, but was able to pick it up and sneak forward. Well, ended up getting about 5 there, or a couple of yards, 3rd and 5 there. Able to get forward for a couple of yards, but like you said, we have to be a big key focus for this David City offense is trying to keep Scotus' offense off the field.
We're going to take this one from the 27, a rare pass by the Scouts, and that is going against Dalton Taylor, the big 6'6" senior. You're not going to win many of those one-on-one battles, but another punting situation for the PBU.
Thought he was going to have that for a second. Looked like he's kind of stretching the back out. He might just be doing that because he ended up dropping the ball. I've seen that a few times. His job to get up in the air and try and get that ball into its highest point. Unfortunately for Scotus, he wasn't able to bring that down. But Scotus, like you said, with their second drive and potentially good field position. Cole Harrington, the lone back to return.
Pressure shown by the Shamrocks. A high punt, not going to be very far as Harrington waves for the fair at the 49-yard line. Shamrocks will start things in Scouts territory.
Like we've seen, if they continue what they did those last 2 plays, I guess that's all they did. This clock could tick pretty fast. We'll see what they come out with.
Talking to head coach Linder, he said, this David City team, they're 1-2, but they're always known as a tough-nosed program. They have that blue-collar kind of can-do attitude, and he said, they're always going to give their best effort, no matter the that the Scouts have, and that's something Coach Ferg has instilled into his team. So he said, while we may be better on paper than this David City team, we don't expect them to lay down and die for us. And there is a penalty, I believe. We'll see if it's a false start or offsides with the laundry on the field.
I think it will be an offsides on the Scout. I've seen these Scotus guys moving beforehand, but
against the Scouts is
going to be offside on the Scouts.
5-yard penalty will move the ball
Going to move up here to the 44-yard line.
Bringing up a 1st and 5 for the Shamrocks.
Scotus kind of saw Boss on the edge, and Boss, the guy you think we're going to see get a decent amount of carries here at least. Beginning of the game, you kind of see him lined up there on the left side. You see Pelster, he's actually lined up in the back there, right behind Chris. Pelster lined up there on the right side.
Pelster in that wing back, he blocks down this time. Play action, rolling out to the left. He's going to go. Cole Harrington, who is unguarded, catches it at the 20. He's still going, and Cole Harrington making a big play as he's brought down at the 16.
There's absolutely great awareness by Cole Harrington. A little play action. Play action right there as they just air that one out to the left side. And nobody guarding Cole Harrington, I think. The Scouts defense was definitely playing run there and executed very well by the Scotus offensive line.
Let's take a look at this one more time. Just chucks that one up right before he gets nailed. And Cole Harrington, unguarded, able to make a nice little move and pick up about 4 more yards before being taken down.
Still down in the Scouts defense as the Shamrocks now start from the 16 after that one. There's Jake Boss right up the middle, running with authority, brought down at the 3 and a late flag. And while the referees decide what the flag's going to be, we'll take a look at the Shamrock starters. We called a couple of their names already. Brady, quarterback, who just connected with Cole Harrington last play. Tanner Spencer, another wingback. Jake Boss, who just had the carry, alongside the 6'6" Dalton Taylor. And Jackson Kumpf rounding out the tight end skill positions for the Shamrocks. As for the big boys in the trenches, Wyatt Balaboshtik, Sam Navicki, Archer, and Ross Bonk anchoring this very, very strong rushing attack.
Mike Gutsford not starting originally in the season, but done a good job this year and gotten the chance, and he's doing a good job so far. He's doing a great job on the defensive line. Those are that you might have seen in the background.
Face mask penalty, so about halfway to the goal.
And right back to Boss, who gets stopped for a short gain of Finney on that one.
Kalen Zillinger in on the tackle. Nice job of filling that beat half there.
Loss of 1 and Boss almost immediately. 2nd and goal from the 3.
So 2nd and goal from the 3. 6:42 remaining, almost at the halfway mark of this first quarter. And you have Marcus Dodson, the backup, if you will, fullback for the Shamrocks. Even though we've talked about it before during our broadcast, he's as good as Boss. And Dodson, lead blocker right now for Pelster. He takes out 2 Scouts offensive players, and that is an easy touchdown for the Shamrocks. And Pelster finds it this time. Nothing.
I'll tell you what, Pelster, guy who's been battling a little bit of groin/hamstring, just been kind of ailing at the beginning of the season here, but today you can that huge run. Another 6 points right here.
The extra point will be Cole Harrington. Holding will be Anthony Cook.
Another short drive for the Shamrocks, and Cole Harrington again kicks it up, and again gets point. 14-6. Shamrocks lead.
David City, nothing.
Last year they went on a run to win the state title, and another thing we've talked about is you got Cole Harrington and a bunch of those guys out here who are also soccer players. We'll take a quick look at this real quick. Bailey Pelster across that. That's the play right before. Nice job, Kalen Zillinger, to get in on that one.
Pelster, the one who scored, though, also another one of those soccer players. And Boss, again, a soccer player, booting it and doing kickoff duties for the Shamrocks. Scouts take it at the 2-yard line, going right up the middle at that special teams of the Shamrocks. Get taken down near the 25.
Nice job by his wiener blockers right up the middle. That's kind of how it's designed. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to break it on one, but good field position for the Scouts.
26-yard line where he's tackled by number 9, Cole Harrington, and number 45, Matt Strucker for the Shamrocks. Scouts will have a 1st and 10 from their own 26.
So the Scouts are going to start from the 20. 6:12 remaining in this opening quarter. And got 2 wide to the left for David City and 1 to the right. Formation you don't normally for the Scouts. And Papa rolling out to the left. He has pressure and is throw that one to nobody. Athlete.
The pass from Dustin Papa.
And if you're wondering what was going on with that route there, you had a couple guys lined up there on the left side.
Coverage on the play by number 7, Anthony Cush.
Across the field to the right side, and then you kind of just have the
Completion will bring up a 2nd down and 10.
coming back across the field, and the assumption is to try and get the defense to move with you over to that left side. 3 other receivers are going, but Scotus doing a good job of not falling for that.
Defense having a great performance thus far. 2 3 and outs. They're looking to make it 3 on 3 possessions for David City. They're going to start 2nd and 10 from the 26. Play action rollout to the right, a completion out to that right side. First down after the catch on that one is Logan Detmer.
Yeah, nice job by Detmer to get out there. A nice little catch. Dustin Papa, who had some pressure there in the backfield. Sent it about the 34-yard line.
And there is the defense for the Shamrocks, and Mitch Halligan, and Twarek, Evan Shohan, and Jake Boss playing the up front positions, as well as a couple of the linebackers. Here's the other linebacker, Marcus Dodson, then Jackson Kumpf, Tanner Spensieri, Harrington, Taylor, and Cush, making up that defensive core for the Shamrocks, as the David City Scouts going to be short of a first that run.
Just a quick little dive action, but I don't think they're going to short that one guard. We'll see if they bring out the punt team or go for it here. You know, it is only 4th and 1 yard, but I would think you maybe punt this one away, because you put Scotus in that good a field position if you don't make it. You know, so far with the way their offense is working, you give them a pretty good shot at another score. So, but we are going to see him go for it right here.
Maryland Eye by the Scouts. They go right up the middle, and I don't think they're going to get it, Grant. The defense of the Shamrocks stand firm with that linebacking core of Boss, Dodson, Shohan. They were all in on that tackle.
They were just immediately in the backfield there. Great job of the linebackers. The blitz are going to take a look at it again. Pelster on the outside making contact, and then Cole Harrington alongside Evan Shohan just coming in and making contact there right in that C gap, right where they were running that power.
So 4:39 is where the Shamrocks will start their 3rd offensive drive of the game. We'll see what they can do with it. Ball officially at the 35. Goes to Boss. Boss has room to run along the outside, runs through a couple players. He is still going. He's going to take it in from 35 yards out, but there is laundry on the field. We'll see if this one stands.
I think this is going to be a holding call. We'll see what they do call here. They are going to call this one against Scotus. They're going to call a chop block. And a chop block is when you got contact with another player up high, and then another player comes through and cuts the defensive player. So a great run by Boss. We'll see if he can duplicate that again on this next play. That is going to be a chop block against Columbus Scotus. And what was great field position is still not terrible, but they are going to have to move back to their own side of the field.
Will move the ball back to the 50-yard line. It will be 1st and 25 for Scotus from the 50.
And Anthony Cush, currently the backup quarterback, took that first snap. He's still out on the field. Cush, the 6'1 junior, weighing in at 160 pounds.
We'll see him line up in the shotgun here. Boss still lone running back.
And there's the handoff back to Boss. He's just going to take it from further out from the 50. Grant, he duplicated it, and then some. Shamrocks 20-0. Boss from 50 yards. Touchdown. Again, there's field again, it looks like. I guess we'll hold our horses here and see what happened.
We'll see if he needs to do this a third time. I think this looks like it might be going against Scotus again, and they are, because they are marching backwards. Unbelievable back-to-back runs by the senior running back.
That's not fair. Boss is now coming to the sideline. I don't blame him. Gassed, obviously, after running those two big plays.
Well, he's running about.
That's tough luck.
He's run about 90 yards so far, maybe 100 in a short period. I imagine he wants a quick drink of water. Give Marcus Dotson a little chance to get in there and do the same.
Taking a look now at the Scout defense as they try to find out some sort of answer for the Shamrocks. Ryan Worm, Daniel White, Kalen Zellinger, Anthony Tebe making up that five-man front. And there's the skill positions in Dustin Papa, Logan Detmer, Thuin, Betson, Sweeney, and Kirby making up the linebackers and DBs. So 1st and 24 from the 49 of David City. Cush drops back. He's going to let this one go right up the seam for Cole Harrington. Dives for it. Can't bring it in.
And Cole Harrington right over the middle. Just a two route there. Kind of a read action, and able to see the safety drops off, runs through its toes, and he's open in the middle, just unable to get to the ball in time as Prism has chucked that one up.
So 4:11 remaining in this opening quarter. All blocks thus far. David City had 2 3-and-outs and then a turnover on downs when they went forward on 4th and short. Shamrocks have scored on their first 2 offensive possessions, looking to make that 3. 2nd and 24. Bailey Pelster with it. He's trying to get around to the outside. He has so far, turns the corner and gets pushed out near the 35. I think they're going to mark him at the 38.
Lays a little hit there down on Dustin Papa on the sideline, but Logan Detmer, credit with the tackle now. We'll take a look at this again. The same play we've seen Pelster run. Just a little reverse over the backside. That time no motion, just takes it out, but just kind of gets around the outside, and it's all speed there. The line does a nice job initially up front, but pushing forward, you can see number 71, Carson Fuchsia up there celebrating.
Run gets him back to the original line of scrimmage nearly. Kush is going to go again for Dalton Taylor. Threw it out to open space. Taylor couldn't quite adjust, and that's going to bring up 4th and 11.
Where they went from 2 touchdown runs to now they see if they're going to have to kick this one away here.
Coverage by number 5, Brandon Thuin for the Scouts.
And they are bringing Boss back in, and Boss does do some of the kicking duties. I think we've seen Harrington back there a few times as well.
Up to 4th and 12 for the Shamrocks.
Well, looks like they're going to go for it, Grant. I mean, why not? They're at the 37 officially, so they're not in too big of a hole should they not convert. But 4th and 12 for the Shamrocks as Harrington goes in motion. They do the double reverse to Bailey Pelster. He's going to have enough for a first down across the 20. He's still going, pushing off David City defenders and taken down near the 9.
It's not very often you see a team go for it when they're looking at 4th and 11. We'll take this one again here, and you see the triple reverse. It's actually a double reverse action. He fakes it originally to Harrington and then gives it off to Boss, who gives it to Pelster, Pelster just fantastic balance there as he's able to stiff arm and just kind of stay on his feet as they go down the sideline. You see him here. I wonder if looks like they might have a little bit of an ankle problem, and not surprised after he battled 5-6 guys there at the end.
Well, they needed 12. Pelster got him 28.
Doesn't appear to be in a ton of pain.
No, looks like safety precautionary measures as he wants to stay on the floor. Obviously going to provide a little bit of a scare for Coach Linder if your leading rusher does go down. But we'll see what happens here. Coach Linder's talking to his team. Doesn't appear to be too overly worried, which is a good sign for Scotus fans.
Yeah, and you can see the fans right there. Pretty packed house. For Scotus, see the band there in the background. Got some Scouts here for the Scouts fans here as well. For a beautiful Friday evening.
And Bailey Pelster walking off under his own power. See, he gets the old pat on the helmet from the coach, and good signs all around. Never like to see any high school players go down, and we'll kind of monitor him and see how he does and what the training staff tends to him on the sideline.
I like to talk about earlier, he's kind of been battling those lower body, I don't know if injuries, if you want to call them that. Kind of been holding him back a little bit, but like you said, he's the leading rusher, so still able to get some work done.
So timeout taken by the Shamrocks before the snap there. Got first and goal to go from the 9. And again, Pelster was a player. He actually started on defense last year for the Shamrocks. Hasn't done it as a senior, though, this year. And you got to think a lot of that with Coach Linder, as you know, allowing your best offensive runner to focus on just offense. And if you have the players and athletes like this team does, that's a luxury you can afford to do.
And like you said, best runner on the offense is a weird word to say with this offense because they have so many talented runners. We're talking about Boston Doc and stuff, and everybody we've already been talking about with Pelter. We've seen him break big runs like this all season. Every game he's able to open up and get out there, and he just stays on his feet. And not a ton of carries, but does a great job when he gets the ball. And like you said, I think it's got to be because of how productive he is on the offense. I just want to make sure he stays healthy and continues to provide for them.
They're still checking out that left ankle. We'll see what they do to it, though. As the timeout is nearing its end, at 3:04 remaining in the first. Again, Shamrocks first and goal to go from the 9. Harrington and Boss in the backfield. Cush hands it off to Boss. Boss pounds forward and falls near the 3.
A little power, maybe a little bit of almost. But yeah, a little power action there as you saw the lineman pull through the gap.
Just over the 4 calls for 3. Second and goal from the 3.
So second and 3 now from the 3. 2:30 remaining. And Harrington taking the snap. A little bit of wildcat action. Harrington finds his way to the end zone for the 3-yard line. Not too difficult as Harrington gets his second score of the night.
Yeah, Harrington, beautiful job finding the open space there right in the Wildcat offense. And credit to the offensive line. You don't notice it just because he's able to just find such open space with his athletic ability, but the offensive line, very nice job by them. Take a look at this one more time in the Wildcat offense. You see just that whole offensive line pinning down with number 61 for Scotus. Caleb Bostick coming through with the lead block.
Extra point is up and good. So 21-0. The Shamrocks a perfect 3 for 3 in this opening quarter. Again, we talked about this, Grant. Coming into this game, the Shamrocks team coming in 4-0. Coming off a big win against number 3 Pierce. That was one of the biggest games in Class C1 last week. Both undefeated. Shamrocks number 2, Pierce number 3. And Shamrocks really provided that first test for Pierce. And on the opposite end, the Shamrocks had already been tested twice with defending C1 champions Boone Central Newman Grove and defending C2 champs David City Aquinas weeks 1 and 2. And it's paying dividends just halfway into the season only. We're right about at the halfway mark at 4.5 games gone, almost with counting this one.
Battle tested is the right word for the Shamrocks here, and that Pierce team, like you said, but they've been consistently good. They're always a very good team in Class C, and to see Scotus play the way they did against Pierce just shows how talented and how put together this team really is.
So the Scouts take it near the goal line again, get about to that 25. That's about where they've started all 3 of their drives prior to this one upcoming. 2:15 to go in the first quarter.
Tackle made by number 12, Dalton Taylor, number 34, Evan Shohan for the Shamrocks. The return is out to the David City 26-yard line. First and
Scouts really needing to get Brandon Thuen going. He's the one who gets the majority of the carries. But again, that's not an easy task to ask of anybody against their Scotus defense. See if they could have some luck here. First and 10 from the 26. And there is a run to the outside and gain of 6 after the carry by Thuen. He must have heard me, Grant.
He got a little energy there. Very nice job. Thuen is a good back. We talked about him before the game, but good to see him bust one forward there and get a couple yards. Second and 4, one of the better situations they've been so far. We'll take a look at this one more time. You see him, a little sweep action to the left. Nice job by the line to open that one up. You saw number 75 in the back there. Daniel White coming through with the big block.
So power eye, they go again to Thuin, who lowers his shoulder and gets near the 40, or the 35, excuse me. Officially marked 35.5. Looks like he'll be a half yard short.
He's out to the David City 35-yard line.
And after that carry, 3rd and 1 upcoming from the 35. Scouts looking for their first down of the game. Shamrocks defense has other ideas. We'll see what happens. Again, that power I formation. Shamrocks showing blitz. They hand it off to Thuin, who bounces it to the outside, and there is his speed. He's going to get a first down and then some as he gets going across the 50 and near the 40-yard line. And Grant, big play for the Scouts.
A little energy for the Scouts offense. Love to see them come out with a little fire here. Nice job by Thuin to get around that right side, and back-to-back, Thuin's able to provide for the Scouts offense and get them into great field position as they get on to Scotus' side of the field for the first time this game. We'll take a...
Really what happened, Grant, the linebackers went up the middle. They blitzed them both, and Thuin lucky enough to bounce to the outside, and that's the chess match that they won.
And we talked about that before. Scotus loves to blitz, and Scouts able to take advantage of it that time.
Not as much luck on that occasion as a loss of 1 on the carry up the middle.
Marcus Dotson blitzing right there up the left side, able to get in for the tackle.
It'll be a loss of 2 on the play. We'll bring up a 2nd and 12 for David City.
10 seconds to go. We'll see if we get one more play in here of the first quarter before we switch sides of the field. 3 seconds, 2, and David City doesn't look like they're in any hurry. That's going to do things here in the first quarter. 21-0 to score. The Shamrocks on top of the Scouts. Glad you're with us on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
At Columbus Motor Company, they feel shopping for a new vehicle should not be complicated. That's why during the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration, they offer everyone their very best price 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. At Columbus Motor Company, it's just one low price, plain and simple, always. So if you're ready for a new vehicle, stop by Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer at 2806 23rd Street in Columbus, or visit them at onelowpricene.com. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We really focus on the people that we serve. Relationships are the most important thing to us, and because we're smaller, we're flexible enough and we can make those quick decisions to meet your needs.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships.
And welcome back to second quarter action as a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. The Shamrocks tackling quarterback Papa for a loss of 5, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 15 for David City. Not a good situation for the Scouts to be in, a team that likes to run it in there when they're in a 3rd and 15 and obvious passing down. And you know the Shamrocks are going to send a lot. High snap as Marcus Dodson breaks through the middle. Also Bonk. Papa throws for all of it. Cole Harrington tips it. Lavelle was almost there. After the incompletion, is going to bring up another punting situation. I'd like to thank you for being with us here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. That first quarter brought to you by Bo's West of Columbus. The best burgers in Columbus, Grant, and I can vouch, you can vouch. I had a spicy jalapeno burger last Friday, and it sounded pretty good right about now.
Yeah, I can't argue. That sounds pretty tasty. I had the one with the fried egg on it, and that was absolutely delicious. That was the first time I had it, and I'm very happy with my choice.
Punt is a short one, bounces off the David City player near the 20. It's going to be down to near the 23 where it initially hit the scout.
Right off his leg and knocked that one back down there when it starts. Nice throw by the ref to mark that ball right down on the 23, and that's where they are going to put it. Scotus, for the first time this game, is going to have to drive about the whole length of the field.
Definitely the longest field they have had. Bad news for David City is they're yet to stop them. We'll see if they have any luck here.
Scotus scored 3 times that last drive after a heck of a lot of penalties.
Prismus is back in, hands it off to a young gun, number 1. We'll have to see who he is. Luke Jarecki getting his first carry of the night, and he makes it a good one as he gets 13 and a first down.
Jarecki, the junior. Jarecki, like you said, we have not seen Jarecki, so that's a new name for us to call up here.
Threw me off.
But he might be a pretty talented back. He's sitting behind a pretty good stable of backs, so we haven't seen a lot out of this kid so far. A nice run to start off.
Again, from a coaching standpoint, Linder, if you get your team in a situation where you're up 21-0 after the first quarter, you can play some of those younger guys and groom them for the next year as Spenceri gets a carry around the outside, pushed out of bounds near the 45, and that is not good as he gets hit by a coach and a player. They all appear to be okay, though, and the crowd gives him a standing ovation and clap for his efforts.
And 52, Preston Ingle, the young freshman for Scotus, kind of taking the blunt into that contact there on the sideline. He hopped up pretty quick though, so. Spenceri, a guy we have seen a little bit though this year. Not this game yet, obviously that was his first carry, but.
Scary situation against Aquinas where he went down late in that game, but turned out that he was okay, and coaches were very relieved to hear that as again he goes right back to him, and Spenceri gets close to another first down.
Yeah, about a gain of about 5 yards there, 6 yards. Nice little flat route. Prismus able just to pop that one over the top. Nothing too complicated, but able to get a nice 5 yards. You see him and Dotson exchanging some high-five action there in the backfield. Number 34, Evan Shohan coming into the game. The starting linebacker, also a fullback, but does not see a lot of the fullback offensive action.
Spenceri again for the 3rd time in a row, and he may take this one all the way. Grant, he has one player to beat and tackled near the 20, but we hadn't called Spenceri's name all night, and then there's 3 plays, bang, 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 and there's a gain of 29.
We'll take a look at this one more time. Just the handoff, kind of sweep action around the left side, able to cut it up, followed his blockers, and Detmer gets him on the tackle, the senior from the Scouts. But Spenceri chalking up a good couple of yards here, his first couple carries of this game.
Again, just showing the depth of this Scotus team and how quickly they can hurt you and from so many places. Jarecki again on the jet sweep around. Jarecki's going to take it all the way from 19 yards out. The junior and his 2nd carry of the game. He finds Pater.
Junior doing a great job of getting around the right side and then doing what Spenceri did, cut up and followed his blockers. A little sweep action, a little handoff sweep action that we know Scotus loves to run. That's kind of their bread and butter. But he gets in for his first 6 of the year, I believe.
I would guess so, Grant. We've called 2 of the opening 3 games for the Shamrocks, and we never called Jarecki's name, but he's making the most of his opportunity here as the extra point goes through. 28-0, Shamrocks on top.
Jarecki could have potentially got some play time in the Central City game. They did a good job there. So we were up at, I believe, Lakeview or Columbus. I'll take a look at this again. The handoff sweep, like I said, the outside. Beautiful job by blocker Caleb Oshdeck to help lead him into the end zone. Luke Jarecki, just the junior, getting in for 6. Credit this Scotus offensive line opening it up for these I guess the only thing you can call them is less experienced backs. Really not that much younger. You know, you're talking about juniors and still some seniors as well. See Jake Boss line up here to kick this one away. Ewan, we've seen a couple times do some good things for the Scout offense. He's the lead rusher so far.
Scouts take it again near their own end zone, get near that 25-yard line where the Shamrocks stuff them again.
And Logan Detmer on the return there.
Tackle made by number 32, Marcus Dotson, and number 85, Tate McCanning.
Dotson on the tackle there. The kicker, you know, Dotson is an interesting player to say the least. He's not your prototypical. He looks like a fullback. He runs like a halfback, and he kicks like a kicker, like a linebacker. So
also wrestles.
Also wrestles, yes. I mean, I assume probably not too much. We might get him on the bottom of the pile here doing a little wrestling, but.
Though up the middle, right at Dodson. Gain of about 9 on that one by the Scouts. They're finding a little bit of success on the ground.
The senior Devin Betts in there, 6 foot, 185 pounds, linebacker / running back. Like I said, Scouts making quick work of that set of downs there.
So it was enough for a first down. Ball to Thuin this time. Thuin has nowhere to go. Shamrock's defensive line wraps him up.
Nathan Twork there in the backfield alongside a bunch of other Scotus defenders, a herd of them really, and Twork now coming off the sideline. It looks exchanging in a new set of backers there. As we look at about 2nd and 12 for the Scouts.
Eight minutes to go here in this opening half. Lead run to the right. There's some room and daylight for the Scouts. Thuin showing how fast and agile he is. Gets across the 40-yard line, and that is the second big run Thuin has reeled off in this second quarter.
And Thuin with a little bit of that shake and bake there on the right side as he's able to free himself up. They are going to get into Scotus territory all the way down to the line. And Thuin, good job so far this game. You know, Scotus now. Let's take a look at this one more time real quick. You see the two lead blockers come through and open that up, and Thuin able to just use that speed there on the sideline and just juke back to the middle. Looked like he about lost the ball there. He saw him hit his knees, but
Coach Ferg was not lying to me when he said Thuin's that one cut back. He'll get some speed and hit that one juke button and make some moves. And there's a little run up the middle. Again by Thuin, not quite as successful that time.
Daniel White in there. Excuse me. 76, Seth Gutzmer in on the tackle. The senior, outside linebacker, also the long snapper. At 6'5", 190 pounds, got a nice frame.
Officially 2nd and 8 from the 38. 6:50 to go in this half. Option to the outside, didn't fool anybody. Loose pitch, and Thuin has to fall on it. That is going to be a big loss, but Grant, great defense by that defensive end, staying home and forcing that pitch.
Thuin able to get back on top of that one, but like you said, not before a big loss. Just kind of looking at scores here. Columbus High currently down 17-13 with 8 minutes and 40 seconds in the second quarter to Burke High School. We'll try and keep track of them as well. We'll see if we can pull up the Lakeview score as well and see how those guys are doing.
So after that long pitch, 3rd and 21, 6 minutes to go. Papa rolling out to the right. He has a little bit of time as defense closes in on him and just has to air it over everybody.
Went from a very tight formation there to a pretty wide passing concept. But looking at a 4th down here and very long for the Scouts. After a really nice run by Thewen to get across field and chalk up some more yards, but not enough. Putting points on the board.
Speaking of those scores, Grant, you inspired me. Lakeview, the other Columbus team, currently down 14-0 to number 6 Wahoo. That was going to be a tough one going in, but they're keeping it close as there's 30 seconds left in that second quarter as Harrington tries to return one here, gets a couple yards of a net gain.
Punt is taken by Cole Harrington.
Harrington down in the field, but he's going to get up and go off under his own power. Looks like it might have just been kind of a weird hit there, a stinger type deal. He is a little bit sore, but he's going to stay in the game there. The wide receiver and key player for the Scotus team doing a nice job tonight so far with a pair of touchdowns.
Cush comes back out to be the quarterback under center. Dodson alongside Harrington. Actually, Cush spread out wide to the left again. The Wildcat formation as Harrington's going to take the snap. And he does. Dodson's his lead blocker, and good defense by the Scouts. No gain there on that one. And they figured out the Wildcat on that play.
Dustin Papa, nice job getting in the backfield, able to evade the lead blocker. Like you said, Dodson, not quite sure what his scheme was there, but not unable to pick up Papa there and gets a tackle there with only a gain of about a yard.
First time we've really seen this Wildcat, Grant, for the Scotus Shamrocks. Maybe a situation too, Coach Linder, in a game where they're right now in control of trying to experiment with a few things. Bailey Pelster back in, though. Good to see for the Shamrocks as he gets the carry and doesn't appear to be too affected by that ankle as he gets a gain of 15 and near the 50-yard line.
And nothing special here from Scotus. The same wrap around, kind of sweep to the right handoff that we've seen Pelster run every time. We'll take a look at it again. Come across the formation, motion, handoff. Just follows his lead blockers up the middle. Carson Fuchsier's been kind of going back and forth all night there, but Fuchsier does a good job of getting out there. We see number 78 Wyatt Gutzmer there. But Fuchsier does a good job of pulling around that corner. A nice athletic lineman.
Ball hands off to Dodson now, and he's in the open field and has room to run. Thuin, the one who initially stopped him before he was cleaned up by a couple other Scout defenders. But another first down nonetheless.
Thuin at number 20, David Betzel for the Scouts. The game is down to the David City 38-yard line. First and 10, Shamrocks.
So 4:28 to go in this second quarter. First and 10, the Shamrocks a perfect 4 for 4 on scoring drives as they continue here. This time, Boss is going to carry it. He jumps over a couple players, spins, still going and taken down near the 25. Another first down.
Yeah, a little power through that C gap, and Boss just shakes and bakes and gets downfield. All these Scotus running backs marking up a lot of yards so far this game. Right now we see number 23, John Lovell, the defensive back, coming in as a wide receiver there. We'll take a look at this one again. Dodson, the lone back, or Boss, the lone back. Just hand off, power right up the middle, and a little dive up the middle, and he gets a first down.
Another handoff up the middle for the Shamrocks. Credit the Scouts defense not giving up much on that one.
Nice job, yeah, a group of those guys in there. Ryan Worm alongside, I think it's a Colin Vanderberg in there too. A nice job to kind of attack that left side there and get in and make contact and answer the call.
Brings up 2nd and 8, gain of 2. Ball on the 24. Got 2 wide to the left in Harrington and Taylor. As appears to be a botched snap and fumble recovery for the Scouts. The first big break for David City and the first mistake by the Shamrocks.
57, Matthew Lewis.
And the 28-0 lead here with David City getting another chance to put some points on the board here before halftime.
From their own 25-yard line.
said, this clock's been going pretty quickly here with a pretty heavy running from both offenses so far.
Definitely what we expected. Talking to Coach Linder prior, he said, this game could go pretty quick. Both teams like to run the ball and run it often, and as football fans know, when you run the ball, that means the clock runs. And a high snap by David City as they almost turn it right back over, but fortunately for the Scouts, Papa falls back on it.
Papa just barely out of reach there for Papa, who jumped up and tried to get that one. He kind of followed that one all the way back down there and landed on it at the end, but Scouts not making things easy for themselves right now as they look at a 2nd and 18 yards.
And now under 3 minutes to play in this opening half, 2:40 and counting, with a 2nd and 18 situation. For David City, a team that Coach Amp Firk says they're a good group of skilled players, but their real weakness coming into this contest was just an inexperienced line. A lot of young guys that they lost, or older guys they lost from last year's team, as Papa is nailed when he throws the ball, but it looks like they're going to give him a completion. Stand corrected, it was incomplete, brings up 3rd and 18, 2 minutes to go in this half.
We'll see if they air this one out here. With quite a few yards to go. They do line up in the tight formation, and you see that lone wide receiver there.
So 3rd and 11, drop back, throws it up, there's double coverage and interception by the Shamrocks. And that's the man we haven't called the name a lot this season, but has a touchdown, Luke Jarecki, with a big play on the defensive end.
And Luke Jarecki having a great night so far. The young man coming in here and doing some big things.
He ate his Wheaties this morning, Grant.
Kid ate a couple bowls of Wheaties this morning. We'll take a look at this one again. That ball just floats over top, and Luke Jarecki with the receiver-style catch over the shoulder follows that one in. And the Scotus Shamrocks take this one on the Scout side of the field, starting about the 44-yard line. They'll look to put one in here before half.
So after the fumble, Jarecki puts his team back in a good position with 1:40 to go. They're going to start from their 45, and Jarecki fakes the jet sweep handoff. Prismus rolling out to the left. He has Cole Harrington on the sideline. He's going to tightrope it and cut back across and gets tackled near the 20. 1.5 to go. Gain of 24 by Harrington. So 1st and 10 from the 22. The Shamrocks wanting to add to their score. And Brant, NSAA rules, you get to 35 points, and it is a running clock. Now the jet sweep to Harrington, who has some room to run, and tackled just across the 15.
Yeah, nice job so far by the Scotus. So not a lot of time, like we said, it's going to continue to click out here. They're pretty close. They might put one in here before half. You see them lining up pretty quickly here.
Right at the minute mark, 1 minute and 2 seconds to be exact. After the Harrington carry brings up 2nd and 2 from the 14. There is Jarecki. He cuts it up inside. He's still going up the middle, tackled near the end zone. It's going to be near the 3-yard line.
And Jarecki kind of doing what Pelster's been doing so far tonight with that little sweep action around the right side. He does get to the 3-yard line there. Nice job to cut up and follow his blockers. As they get even closer here and a good chance to score.
45 seconds to go. 1st and goal to go. They mark him officially at the 4. Dalton Taylor wide to the left. Boss, the lone back behind the quarterback. They give it to Jarecki again on the sweep. Is he going to get it? Going to be a yard short. But they like Jarecki. They're giving him some opportunities.
You know, and it seems like you wonder if Taylor gets angry just kind of running all those routes there on the outside, because he is a very talented receiver, able to get up. We see him in basketball. He's that 5-man. He's able to get up there and get those rebounds, but the running backs are so good. It's kind of hard to air it out. As we can see right now, Jarecki and the backup running backs are doing a fantastic job as well.
So Coach Linder and the Shamrocks decide to take a timeout with 25 seconds to go. cannot be too upset with their first quarter performance, or first half performance, excuse me. 28-0 as they look to even add to that. And they're going to get the ball coming out of halftime.
David City done some good things tonight, but Carson Fuscher, I mentioned his name a couple times so far tonight, just done a fantastic job for the Scotus offensive line, the senior O-lineman. He's been pulling all night on those speed plays and lead blocking, and the athletic offensive lineman just able to get upfield and really open all these plays up for Pelster and now Luke Jarecki as well.
Yeah, I know.
So 2nd and 2, and a goal to go for the Shamrocks after the timeout. They have 25 seconds to score. Clock shouldn't be a factor, as they do have one timeout left should they not get in on this chance.
Like right here.
Boss the lone back, and
Thanks, Taylor.
they give it to Boss, and there is the touchdown. Shamrocks up 34-0.
Boss, you almost wonder if he just did that to give him a touchdown for having those last two he had called back. We saw him earlier with a 34-yarder and then the 50-some-yarder as well, getting called back on penalties. But Boss, nice job to just dive up the middle there and get a touchdown.
I think that's a fair trade, Grant. I think he'll forgive his teammates for making him run those two long touchdowns. He did get one there, and Harrington a perfect 5 for 5 of extra points tonight. 35-0 now. The Shamrocks very much in control of this one.
Yeah, the Shamrocks, and we've seen their backups coming through a situation where the first one is trying to run the score or anything like that. The Shamrocks are just having to click on all cylinders right now. We've seen them play some very good defenses so far this year and be successful. Similar situation, they put I think 35, 36 points up on Boone Central in the win on that game, and Boone Central very good team as well. David City going to come out here and return. The guy for David City, Brandon Thiewin, their senior running back, sitting at 6 foot, 170 pounds, has had a very good job. A good game tonight, I should say. At least a good first half. Kind of been carrying this Scouts offense. We've seen Devin Betson as well get in on a couple runs. He did break one for about 10-15 yards. So a couple running backs here for David City doing some good things as well.
Boss, who just found the end zone to do the kicking off duties. 21 seconds remaining in the opening half. There's the boot taken right at the end zone, right up the middle again by the Scouts, and getting past the first wave of Shamrocks and near that 25, 26-yard line grid.
And it looks like Logan Detmer there on the return, and nice job to follow his blockers. Again, they've been getting to about that 24 to 26-yard line, it seems like, on every return so far.
15 seconds to go. You would imagine the Scouts are going to run a running play, or maybe just take a kneel here. You don't think they're going to try to go for anything. The all familiar power I formation. They hand it up right up the middle to Thuin, and he's tackled near the 34, and that's going to do things for this first half. 35-0 Shamrock lead. After two scores by Harrington, one by Boss, one by Jarecki, and a 2-yarder by Pelster. Those are the 5 touchdowns as the Shamrocks get a standing ovation going into halftime. Not an easy task for Coach Amford to come into. We're going to get his thoughts on this opening half shortly. But Grant, while we wait for that, what are your thoughts on the opening half?
Well, we kind of talked about it earlier. The Scouts are going to have to, they're really going to have to come out pretty hot if they want a chance to come back and get into this game the second half. We've seen some good things from their offense, but Scotus, like we said earlier, kind of clicking on all cylinders right now, and their offense is just extremely productive.
Scouts knew it wouldn't be an easy one coming into this. The Shamrocks, a very seasoned veteran team with a lot of athletes. Just doing over some initial stats and leading rushers, you had Bailey Pelster, who's reeled off runs of 11, 28, and 15 in that opening half. He did go down with a little bit of a knock-up on his ankle, but proved to be okay as he got that 50 in that quarter. You have Jake Boss, who's also rushed for near 40 yards with a 14 and a 10-yarder to his resume. The leading rusher, no surprise for the Scouts, is Brandon Thuin. And he's had 2 big ones. They both came in the second quarter. Rushes of 27 yards and 20 yards officially.